In Russia, starting in August, they will pay twice as much for getting killed in the war. Putin signed a decree according to which any mobilized volunteer who signed a contract with the Ministry of Defense by the end of this year for a period of 1 year or more will receive a one-time payment of 400,000 rubles. In addition, a directive was sent down to the regions to pay volunteers another 400,000 from the local budget. Thus, the price of a Russian soldier's life will be 800,000 rubles.
Vladimir
Vladimirovich is fighting with money, and though he tried very hard, he was unable to create such popular enthusiasm like "Rise up, huge country, the fatherland is in danger" and other nonsense. He was unable to achieve this. Yes, he managed to achieve the fact that people do not like Ukrainians and Ukraine. They think that everyone is against them, but there is still no enthusiasm for the war. And he buys lives and blood. He simply buys that. He pays huge amounts of money to those who agree to go to the front.
In order to attract volunteers to the Russian army, the Kremlin is ready to pay so-called headhunters as well. In 9 Russian regions, authorities offer cash rewards to those who bring those willing to go to war to selection points. In Mordovia and Kaluga region, they offer 5,000 rubles for one so-called volunteer. But the largest reward is promised in Yaroslavl region and Tatarstan, 100,000 rubles each, reports Verstka publication. Russians most often recruit their colleagues, friends, relatives and acquaintances on the orders of their superiors at budgetary enterprises. However, there are also those who do it willingly and of their own free will.
It's all very simple. You look for people wherever you can. Social networks, bulletin boards, job search sites. Everything is done online, and it takes up absolutely all of your time. Literally. Payment is for each person. You can work under a contract as a self-employed person. Mikhail, employee of Consult Expert, in an interview with Sever Realia.
The Russian army is also actively replenishing its ranks with migrants. Thus, the State Duma supported the bill on registration for military service before receiving Russian citizenship and decided to increase the term of service to 2 years. For this, with many children will not be able to dodge the army either. The State Duma rejected the corresponding bill.
A man should think about how to feed his family second, because he consists of man and rank. A man is a warrior, a protector of the family, our society and our state, and subsequently a rank is a worker, a breadwinner. Andrei Karasov, deputy of State Duma of Russia, during a meeting of the State Duma.
According to official statistics, the Russian Federation sent 903 fathers of many children and 100 fathers of children with disabilities to the war against Ukraine. At the same time, in November last year, Putin stated that the main goal of a Russian woman is not education or a career, but increasing the birth rate in the country, which, by the way, has been rolling down the abyss for more than 10 years.
In 2023, 1.26 million children were born in Russia, 9.5% fewer than in 2021. According to Rosstat, the lowest number of births since 1999. Putin's efforts to shape a conservative society run counter to the values of many Russians. A 2022 study of 15,000 households by Rosstat found that 71.6% of women wanted no more than 2 children. The Washington Post writes,
due to active mobilization since the beginning of 2022, the Federation has experienced an acute labor shortage. An investigation by Novaya Gazeta Europe states that the Russian economy has lost almost 2 million workers, or more than 2% of the country's labor force, due to the so-called special military operation. The transport sector in the region suffers most often. There are simply not enough drivers.
During the war in Ukraine, all segments of the transport industry faced a labor shortage. For example, the shortage of tourist bus drivers reached 60%. However, public urban transport turned out to be the most vulnerable amid the salary race. Vladislav Bulgakov, transport analyst, in an interview with Siberiali publication.
The shortage of personnel is a common problem for the Russian economy since the invasion of Ukraine. Immediately after the start of mobilization, Russian enterprises complained of a record labor shortage in 30 years. The official unemployment rate in Russia fell to a historic low of almost 3% last year. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.